The storm came fast that evening. Marcus Webb watched the dark clouds roll across the purple sky of Kepler 442b, his new homeworld. Lightning cracked between the clouds, painting everything in brief flashes of white. He pulled his coat tighter and hurried toward his small farmhouse. He had been on this frontier planet for 3 years now. The colony was small, just 200 families spread across the valley. They grew crops, raised animals, and tried to make earth plants grow in alien soil. It was hard work, but it was honest work. Marcus liked the quiet life out here, far from the crowded cities of Earth. The wind picked up, howling across his fields. Marcus secured the barn door and checked his irrigation system one last time. That was when he heard it. A sound that did not belong to the storm. A sound like crying. He stopped and listened. There it was again, high-pitched and afraid. A child crying. Marcus grabbed his flashlight and followed the sound. His boots splashed through puddles as rain began to fall. The crying came from near the south fence by the water pipes. He ran toward it, his light cutting through the darkness. Then he saw her. She was small, maybe the size of a human child, but she was not human. Her skin glowed with soft blue patterns that pulsed like a heartbeat. She had large eyes that reflected his flashlight like a cat's. Wing-like things extended from her back, but they were damaged, burned. She was curled up against a pipe, shaking and crying. Marcus froze. His mind raced. This was an alien, a real alien. First contact protocols said he should report this immediately. Call the authorities. Do not approach. Do not make contact. But she was crying. She was hurt. She was a child. Marcus knelt down slowly. He turned off his flashlight so he would not scare her more. The glow from her skin gave enough light to see by. "Hey," he said softly. "It's okay. I won't hurt you." She looked at him with those huge eyes. Tears ran down her face. They sparkled like tiny crystals. She said something in a language he had never heard. It sounded like singing and wind chimes mixed together. Marcus reached for his translator device on his belt. He activated it, but the screen showed nothing. The device could not recognize her language at all. "Okay, we'll figure it out," Marcus said. He moved a bit closer. "You're hurt. Let me help you." The child pressed herself against the pipe, afraid. Marcus understood. He was a stranger. A strange-looking alien to her, just as she was to him. He sat down in the mud, making himself less threatening. The rain poured down on both of them. Lightning flashed overhead. Marcus pointed to himself. "Marcus," he said. Then he pointed to her and made a questioning gesture. She watched him carefully. Then, slowly, she pointed to herself. Her mouth moved, and a sound came out like bells ringing. Marcus could not hope to pronounce it. "Okay," he said. "I'm going to call you. Sci. Is that okay?" She just stared at him. Marcus pointed to the house, visible through the rain. He made a gesture of sleeping, of being safe inside. Then he pointed to her wings, to the burns, and made a helping gesture. The child looked at the house, then at him, then at her damaged wings. More crystal tears fell from her eyes. Finally, she nodded. Marcus stood up slowly and offered his hand. She looked at it for a long moment. Then she placed her small hand in his. Her skin was warm and felt like smooth stone. They walked to the house together. Marcus kept his movements slow and calm. Inside, he locked the door behind them and turned on the lights. The child blinked in the brightness, and her skin patterns dimmed a bit. Marcus grabbed towels and dried them both off. Then he gently examined her wings. The burns looked painful. He did not know alien biology, but burns were burns. He got his medical kit and carefully applied burn gel and bandages. She winced, but let him work. When he finished, Marcus went to the kitchen. He did not know what aliens ate, but he tried different things. He offered her water first. She sniffed it carefully, then drank it eagerly. He offered bread. She poked it, but did not eat it. He tried fruit. She took a small bite of an apple and seemed to like it. He gave her more. While she ate, Marcus tried again to communicate. He drew pictures on paper, a house, a person, a ship in the sky. When he drew the ship, she became excited. She took the pen from him and drew too. She drew what looked like a star map, complex symbols that meant nothing to Marcus. She pointed at one symbol, then at herself, then up at the sky. "You came from up there," Marcus said. "Your ship crashed?" She drew more frantically. A ship, fire, falling. She was showing him what happened. "Where are your parents?" Marcus asked, drawing stick figures of adults and children. Her face crumpled, and she started crying again. Marcus felt his heart break. "It's okay," he said. "You're safe now. We'll figure this out." He set up the spare bedroom for her. Clean sheets, soft pillows, and a glass of water by the bed. She looked at the bed like she had never seen one before. Then she climbed in and pulled the blankets around herself. Marcus stood in the doorway. "Good night, Sci," he said softly. He went to his own room, but he could not sleep. His computer showed alerts. His motion sensors had detected something massive in orbit before they shorted out. Energy signatures off the charts. Then nothing. Around midnight, Marcus got up to check on the child. She was standing at the window, her hand pressed against the glass. She was humming something. It was beautiful and sad at the same time. A song or maybe a signal. Marcus looked out the window, too. The storm had passed. The stars were bright in the alien sky. But something was wrong. The stars were moving, shifting, like they were being blocked by something huge. Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. He looked at the child. She looked back at him. In her eyes, he saw hope and fear mixed together. "What's coming?" Marcus whispered. The child just hummed her song and looked back at the sky, waiting. Outside, the darkness grew deeper as something vast approached. Marcus did not sleep that night. He sat at his kitchen table drinking coffee and watching the child sleep. Every few minutes, he looked out the window at the sky. The stars stayed wrong, shifted, and blocked by something invisible. When dawn came, it came wrong too. The sun began to rise over the mountains, but then a shadow fell across everything. Marcus stepped outside and looked up. His coffee cup fell from his hand and shattered on the ground. A ship hung in the sky above his farm. No, not a ship. A city. A floating impossibility that stretched for miles. It was beautiful in a way that hurt to look at. The hull was not metal, but something organic, like it had been grown instead of built. Patterns of light pulsed across its surface, the same blue glow as the child's skin. The ship was so massive it covered the sun. Marcus's farm fell into shadow like night had returned. His radio exploded with noise. Emergency broadcasts on every channel. The colony governor's voice, tight with panic, ordering people to stay in their homes. The military scrambling fighters, evacuation warnings, chaos. Marcus ran back inside. The child was awake, standing at the window. She was not afraid. She pressed both hands against the glass and her whole body glowed brighter. She was humming again, louder now. "Sci," Marcus said, "is that yours? Is that your family?" She turned to him and nodded. Then she pointed up and said something in her musical language. Even without translation, Marcus heard the emotion. Relief, joy. Home. Outside, Marcus heard engines. He looked through the front window and saw military vehicles racing up his dirt road. Armored trucks and hover tanks. Soldiers jumped out, taking positions around his property. Weapons pointed at his house. Weapons pointed at the sky. Marcus's heart pounded. This was going to go bad very fast. An officer with a loudspeaker shouted toward the house. "Marcus Webb, we have detected an alien life form in your residence. Exit immediately with your hands visible." Marcus looked at the child. She had backed away from the window, afraid of the soldiers and their guns. "It's okay," Marcus lied. Stay here. He walked outside slowly, hands raised. 20 guns tracked his movement. The officer, a woman named Chen that Marcus knew from colony meetings, looked stressed and angry. "Marcus, what the hell is going on?" she demanded. "There's a child inside," Marcus said. "An alien child. She's hurt. She crashed in the storm last night. I gave her shelter." "You did what?" Chen's eyes went wide. "Do you have any idea what you have done? That thing up there could destroy our entire colony?" "She's not a thing. She's a child who was scared and alone." "Stand aside, Webb. We're taking the alien into custody." "No." Marcus stood in front of his door. "You're not." The soldiers shifted nervously. Chen's hand moved to her sidearm. The air felt electric, like another storm was about to break. Then, the real storm came. Light fell from the ship above. A beam of pure white that illuminated Marcus's farm like a spotlight from heaven. The light touched the ground 50 feet from the house. The air itself seemed to bend and twist. A figure materialized in the light. She was tall, maybe 7 feet, with the same glowing patterns as the child, but far more elaborate. They covered her skin like living tattoos, pulsing with power. She wore armor made of crystal that shimmered and changed colors. Her eyes blazed with blue fire. Her presence made the air heavy, hard to breathe. Reality seemed to warp slightly around her. Marcus had seen pictures of queens and empresses in history books. They had nothing on this being. She radiated authority and power. When she moved, it was with perfect grace. When she looked at the soldiers, they flinched. But Marcus saw something else in her face. Beneath the power and the anger, he saw what any parent would feel: fear for her child. The woman spoke. Her voice came from everywhere at once, resonating in Marcus's chest. He did not understand the words, but his translator suddenly activated. Every device for a mile around activated at the same time, all speaking in unison. "Where is my daughter?" The soldiers raised their weapons. Chen shouted orders. Fingers tensed on triggers. Marcus did the stupidest, bravest thing he had ever done. He stepped between the soldiers and the alien woman. He raised his hands, not in surrender, but in a calming gesture. "Wait!" he shouted. "Everyone just wait!" The alien woman's burning eyes fixed on him. Marcus felt like an ant under a magnifying glass, but he did not move. "Your daughter is safe," Marcus said. "She's inside. She's not hurt anymore. I took care of her." The woman's head tilted slightly. "You are Marcus Webb?" "Yes." "You touched my daughter. You took her into your dwelling." The way she said it made it sound like an accusation, like a crime. Marcus swallowed hard but nodded. "I found her crying in the rain. She was hurt and scared, so I helped her." The woman stared at him. The silence stretched. The soldiers waited. The ship above hummed with building power. Then the door of Marcus's house opened. The child ran out. She was fast, crossing the yard in seconds. She ran past Marcus, past the soldiers, straight to the tall woman. She crashed into her arms, crying and talking rapidly in that bell-like language. The woman caught her, held her close. Her fierce expression cracked. She ran her hands over the child, checking the bandages Marcus had applied, examining the burns. Her glow intensified with anger. "Who hurt you?" the woman demanded of the child. The child spoke rapidly, gesturing at the sky, explaining about the crash. Then she turned and pointed at Marcus. She spoke more, tugging her mother's arm, trying to pull her toward him. The woman looked at Marcus again, really looked at him this time. The child kept talking, showing her mother the bandages, mimicking how Marcus had given her food and water, how he had made a bed for her. The woman's expression changed. The anger faded into something Marcus could not read. She said something to the child, who nodded enthusiastically. Then the woman stood, still holding her daughter. She took 3 steps toward Marcus. The soldiers tensed. Chen shouted a warning. The alien woman ignored them all. She stopped in front of Marcus, so close he could feel the heat radiating from her skin. She was terrifying and magnificent. Marcus's knees shook, but he held his ground. "I am Sovereign Keeper Thylera of the Luminous Chorus," she said. Each word was perfectly pronounced, carrying weight. "You have cared for my daughter when she was lost. You have shown her kindness when you could have shown fear. You have protected her when you could have used her." Marcus did not know what to say. She needed help, that's all. Thylera studied him for a long moment. "Your species was scheduled for evaluation. Our observations. Our judgment." She paused, and Marcus felt the world holding its breath. That timeline has changed because of you, Marcus Webb, because of what you have done. "I don't understand," Marcus said. Thylera looked at her daughter, then back at him. "You will." She turned to address the soldiers, the gathering crowd. The cameras that Marcus now noticed were broadcasting everything. "Humans of Kepler 442b. I came expecting the worst. I found something I did not anticipate." She looked at Marcus. "We must speak. Your world and mine. What happens next will depend on what is said." The child, still in her mother's arms, waved at Marcus. Despite everything, he found himself waving back. The fate of humanity, Marcus realized, had just changed, all because he had helped a lost child in the rain. The colony governor arrived within an hour, along with military commanders and more soldiers. They set up a perimeter around Marcus's farm. News drones circled overhead. The whole colony watched on their screens. Earth had been contacted. The entire human race was watching now. Thylera stood in Marcus's yard holding her daughter. She had not moved. She had not made any threatening gestures. But the massive ship above made everyone nervous. It hummed with power that made the ground vibrate. Governor Rodriguez, a tired-looking man in his 60s, approached with his hands raised peacefully. Chen and 6 soldiers flanked him, weapons lowered but ready. "I am Governor Rodriguez. I speak for this colony. We mean no harm. We seek peaceful dialogue." Thylera regarded him with those burning blue eyes. "You point weapons at me even as you speak of peace. Your soldiers surround me. Your ships in orbit prepare weapons. Is this human peace?" Rodriguez looked embarrassed. "A precaution. You must understand, first contact is—" "This is not first contact," Thylera interrupted. "We have observed your species for 200 of your years. We know you well, Governor Rodriguez, perhaps better than you know yourselves." Silence fell. Marcus felt his stomach drop. 200 years? They had been watching humanity all this time? "Then you know we can be reasonable," Rodriguez said carefully. "Please, can we talk? Somewhere more comfortable?" Thylera looked at Marcus's small farmhouse. "I will speak, but I will speak with Marcus Webb, alone." "That's not protocol," Chen began. "I do not care about your protocols," Thylera said, and power rippled through her voice. "Marcus Webb showed my daughter kindness. He has earned trust. The rest of you have earned nothing. He will hear what I have to say first. Then you may hear it." Rodriguez looked at Marcus, questioning. Marcus shrugged helplessly. This was way beyond him. He was just a farmer. "Okay," Rodriguez finally said. "Marcus, are you willing?" Marcus looked at Thylera and her daughter. The child smiled at him. "Yeah, I'll talk with her." They cleared the soldiers back. Thylera carried her daughter to Marcus's porch. She set the child down gently. "Sci Erie," she said to her daughter. "Wait here with the nice human's friends. I must speak with him privately." So that was the child's real name. Sci Erie. The little girl nodded and sat on the porch steps. She waved at Marcus again. He waved back. Marcus led Thylera inside his small house. It felt strange. An alien empress in his kitchen with its dirty dishes and old furniture. She looked around with interest, her glow dimming a bit in the indoor light. "Sit, please," Marcus offered, gesturing to his kitchen table. Thalira sat, moving with that same perfect grace. Marcus sat across from her. Up close, he could see her face better. She looked tired, stressed. Behind all that power, she was a mother who had spent a night terrified for her child. "Thank you," Thalira said quietly, "for caring for Sci-Iri, for healing her, for giving her shelter when she had none. You don't need to thank me. Any decent person would have done the same." "Would they?" Thalira's eyes fixed on him. "We have observed your species, Marcus Webb. We have seen what humans do to those who are different, to those they fear, to those who are alone and vulnerable." Marcus felt the accusation but could not deny it. "Some humans are like that. Not all of us. No, not all. That is the question my people struggle with. That is why we watch, why we evaluate." "Evaluate for what?" Thalira stood and walked to his window, looking out at the soldiers, the colony, the planet. "My people are called the Luminous Chorus. We are old. We have existed for millions of your years. We have seen thousands of species rise. We have seen hundreds fall. We are shepherds, Marcus. We guide younger species. We protect them. We help them grow." "That sounds nice," Marcus said carefully. "It is not always nice. Sometimes species are not ready for the greater galaxy. Sometimes they are too violent, too selfish, too destructive. When we find such species, we must make difficult choices." Marcus's throat went dry. "What kind of choices?" Thalira turned to face him. "Containment. We isolate them on their worlds. We prevent them from spreading into the stars. We check back every few thousand years to see if they have grown. Some do. Some destroy themselves. Some we eventually welcome." "And humanity?" "Humanity has been under evaluation for 2 centuries. Our observers have watched you, your wars, your pollution, your cruelty to each other and your own planet, your violence even as you spread to the stars. The data is extensive. The conclusion seemed clear." Marcus felt cold. "What conclusion?" "That humanity is too dangerous, too aggressive, that you should be contained here, in your small corner of space until you have proven you can be better." "If you can be better." The weight of her words crushed down on Marcus, his entire species, all of humanity, judged and found wanting. "When was this decision going to happen?" Marcus asked quietly. 3 days from now. The chorus convenes. The final vote would be taken. Your fate would be sealed." Thalira walked back to the table. But then Sci-Iri's ship crashed. A solar flare, unexpected interference. She was stranded on this world, alone, injured, in the hands of a species we believed would harm her. "But I didn't." "No, you did not. When I arrived with my fleet, I expected to find my daughter dead or captured, weapons drawn, threats made. All the data said this is what humans would do." Thalira sat down again. "Instead, I found one human who asked nothing, who wanted nothing, who simply helped a lost child because it was the right thing to do." Marcus did not know what to say. He had just done what felt natural, what felt human. "One example," Thalira continued, "cannot overturn 2 centuries of observation. One act of kindness cannot erase the violence we have documented. The chorus will still convene. The vote will still be taken. But now there is doubt." "Doubt is good, right?" "Perhaps. Or perhaps it only delays the inevitable." Thalira looked at him with those intense eyes. "I will present what I found here. I will tell them about Marcus Webb, about your kindness, but they will counter with statistics, with evidence, with reason. How do I convince beings who have seen everything that humanity deserves a chance?" Marcus thought about it, about Earth and all its problems, about wars and hate and everything wrong with his species, but also about everything right, the helpers, the healers, the ones who built instead of destroyed. "Tell them we're not perfect," Marcus said slowly. "We never claimed to be. We've done terrible things. But we're also trying. Every day, millions of humans try to be better, to help each other, to build a future worth having. Many species try. Not all succeed. Then judge us on our potential, not just our past. Yeah, we've screwed up, but we've also created beautiful things. Music and art and literature. We've sacrificed for each other. We've changed our own minds about things we were wrong about. We've improved. Have you improved enough?" Marcus spread his hands. "I don't know. But I know we deserve the chance to try. Locking us away because we might be dangerous? That's not fair to the humans who are trying to do good." Thalira was quiet for a long time. Outside, Sci-Fi's laughter rang out. Someone had given her a ball and she was playing. "The chorus convenes in 3 days, Thalira finally said. "They will decide. I will speak for you. But I cannot promise it will be enough. What can I do? Tell your truth. Show who humanity can be. Hope that it is enough." She stood. "I must return to my ship. Preparations must be made. You will be brought before the chorus to testify." "Me? I'm nobody. Just a farmer. You are the human who saved my daughter. You are the reason there is doubt. Your voice will matter, Marcus Webb. Use it well." She walked to the door, then paused. "Thank you, for Sci-Fi, for giving me hope that perhaps the data is wrong. That perhaps humanity has a quality we missed in all our observations." "What quality?" "The ability to choose kindness, even when it costs you something. Even when it is risky. Even when no one is watching to reward you." She smiled, the first genuine smile he had seen from her. "That is rarer than you know." Then she was gone, taking her daughter back into the light, back to her impossible ship. Marcus sat alone in his kitchen as the fate of humanity rested on his simple words. 2 days passed in a blur. Marcus became the most famous human alive. News organizations from Earth and every colony wanted interviews. The colony governor assigned him security. Scientists wanted to debrief him. Politicians wanted to coach him on what to say. Marcus refused most of it. He did not want coaching. He did not want to be told what humanity should look like. He just wanted to tell the truth. On the 3rd day, a transport beam came from Thalira's ship. Marcus was lifted gently into the sky. He had never been more terrified. The ship was impossible inside. Halls that seemed to go on forever, filled with soft light that came from everywhere and nowhere. The walls were alive, pulsing gently. Other aliens walked past, species Marcus had never imagined. Some looked humanoid. Others were so different he could not process what he was seeing. Thalira met him in a vast hall. She wore different armor now, more ceremonial. Sci-Fi was with her, dressed in small robes that matched her mother's. The child ran to Marcus and hugged his leg. "She has asked about you constantly," Thalira said. "She wants to show you her room, her toys, her collections. She does not understand why I must bring you before the chorus instead." Marcus knelt and hugged Sci-Fi back. "Maybe after, if things go well." "Perhaps." Thalira gestured for him to follow. "Come, they are waiting." They walked through corridors that bent and curved in ways that made Marcus's head hurt. Finally, they entered a chamber so large Marcus could not see the ceiling. It was filled with beings, hundreds of them, maybe thousands, all different species, all watching him with various types of eyes. At the center was a raised platform. Ancient beings sat there, radiating power like Thalira, but even more intense. These were the elders of the chorus, the ones who decided the fate of species. Marcus felt like he might throw up. Thalira led him to a small platform in the middle of the room. She squeezed his shoulder once, then took her place with Sci-Erie among the other shepherds. A hologram appeared above Marcus. Images of Earth, of human cities and farms, of beauty and ugliness side by side. Then the images changed. Wars, pollution, poverty, violence, crime, destruction. Every terrible thing humanity had ever done, projected huge for all to see. The evidence against his species laid out in brutal detail. An alien that looked like living crystal spoke. Its voice was translated instantly. We have observed the humans for 200 years. In that time, we have documented 847 instances of humans responding to unknown phenomena with violence. We have recorded systematic destruction of their own planet, wars that killed millions, hatred based on minor biological differences among their own kind. More images, more proof. Marcus watched his species' dirty laundry aired before the galaxy. He could not deny any of it. It was all true. Another alien spoke. This one like living water held in a vaguely humanoid shape. They have reached the stars and brought their violence with them. Colony disputes have turned deadly. Resources are hoarded. The strong prey on the weak. The pattern is clear. Humans are dangerous. They must be contained, said a third voice, this one from an alien covered in what looked like moss and vines. For their own good and the good of the galaxy. Isolation until they prove capable of peace. This is our recommendation. The elders listened. They had no expressions Marcus could read, but he felt their agreement. The decision had already been made. This was just a formality. Then Thalira stood. I wish to present evidence to the contrary. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Thalira had been one of the strongest voices for human containment. Everyone knew this. 3 days ago, my daughter crashed on a human world. She was injured, alone, and vulnerable. I arrived expecting the worst based on all our data about human responses to the unknown. Thalira gestured to Marcus. Instead, I found this human, Marcus Webb, a farmer with no political power, no authority, no resources beyond his small home. He found my daughter crying in a storm. New images appeared. Marcus watching Sci-Erie from his security cameras. Him bringing her inside, treating her wounds, feeding her, making her a bed. No one had told Marcus they had this footage. He violated first contact protocols to help her, Thalira continued. He risked disease, danger, legal consequences. He gained nothing. He asked for nothing. He simply helped a lost child. One example, the crystal being said dismissively. One human acting decently does not counter 2 centuries of evidence. Perhaps not alone, Thalira agreed. So I looked deeper. I reviewed all observations, every single one, and I found something curious. More images. Different ones now. A human pulling another from a burning building, volunteers distributing food after a disaster, a teacher staying late to help a struggling student, a stranger donating a kidney to someone they had never met. Millions of small kindnesses, billions of tiny acts of goodness. For every violent incident we documented, Thalira said, there were thousands of moments like these. We observed the violence because it was dramatic, noteworthy. We failed to count the everyday kindness because it was ordinary. But it is there, constant, unremarkable to humans because they do it without thinking. The chamber was quiet now. Beings were watching the images with new attention. One of the elders spoke for the first time. Its voice was old beyond measure. These are not unique to humans. Many species show intraspecies cooperation. True, Thalira said, but humans show something else. Watch. New images, human history, societies that once practiced slavery abolishing it, rights extended to groups once oppressed, environmental protections passed, peace treaties signed, enemies becoming friends over generations. Humans change their own minds, Thalira said. They look at their own behavior and decide to be better. They fight their own nature. They improve. Not always, not quickly, but they try. Generation after generation, they try to be better than they were. An elder leaned forward. Many try, most fail. Then let us test them, Thalira said. Before we condemn them, one final evaluation. The elders conferred silently. Finally, the Ancient One spoke again. What test do you propose? Let us create a scenario, a crisis. Give humanity a choice between safety and compassion, between protecting themselves and helping others. If they choose violence and self-preservation, we will know containment is warranted. If they choose otherwise, we may have hope, the elder finished. Very well, the human will speak first. Then we will decide. All eyes turned to Marcus. His mouth went dry. He had no speech prepared, no clever words. He was just a guy who grew crops on a distant world. He cleared his throat. I'm not a diplomat. I don't know the right things to say. I'm just Marcus. I'm a farmer. I grow food. I fix machines when they break. I live a quiet life. He looked around at all the alien faces. You've shown a lot of bad stuff that humans have done. I can't argue with it. We've messed up. We've hurt each other and our planet. We've done terrible things. But we've also done good things. We've also helped each other. And the thing is, we're learning. Every generation looks at what the previous one did and says, we can do better. Sometimes we fail, but we keep trying. Marcus thought about why he helped Sayiri. When I found that little girl crying in the rain, I didn't think about protocols or consequences. I just thought, she needs help. That's it. And I think most humans, if they found a lost kid, would do the same. We're built to help, to care. Yeah, we're also built to fight and compete and be stupid sometimes. But the caring part is there too. He looked at Thalira, then at the elders. I don't know if we deserve to join your galaxy community. Maybe we don't. But I know we deserve the chance to prove we can be worthy of it. Don't judge us only on our worst moments. Judge us on our potential, on what we're trying to become. Silence filled the vast chamber. Then the ancient elder spoke. The test will proceed. We will return the human to his world. Then we shall see what humanity truly values. Marcus was transported back to his farm. As he materialized in his yard, he felt the weight of what was coming. Somewhere, somehow, humanity would be tested. He just hoped they would pass. They did not tell Marcus what the test would be. Thalira only warned him with a single message sent to his communicator. Do not interfere. Do not tell anyone. Humanity must choose freely. Marcus spent the next day in agony, waiting. The whole colony was tense. Everyone knew something was coming. The chorus ships remained in orbit, silent and ominous. News from Earth showed panic in some places, celebration in others. Nobody knew what to expect. The test came at dawn on the fourth day. Warning alarms screamed across every human colony. On Earth, in the capital city of New Geneva, where the United Earth government met, klaxons blared. Above the city, a chorus ship appeared. Not as massive as Thalira's flagship, but still enormous. 10,000 feet of alien technology hanging in the sky. And it was falling. The ship's lights flickered. It tilted at a dangerous angle. Debris began breaking off, burning in the atmosphere. Every sensor showed the same thing, critical systems failure. The ship was going to crash directly into the city. 12 million people lived in New Geneva. Marcus watched the news feeds with his heart in his throat. This was it. The test. Earth's defense forces mobilized instantly. Destroyers moved into position. Weapons platforms came online. They could destroy the falling ship, break it apart before it hit, save the city. But that would mean killing everyone aboard the chorus vessel. The military command channel was public. Marcus heard the frantic debate in real time. Target lock acquired. We can break it into pieces small enough to burn up in atmosphere. Estimated casualties on the ship. All of them, sir. At least 3,000 beings aboard. And if we don't shoot? The impact kills millions, maybe tens of millions with secondary damage. Silence on the channel. An impossible choice. Save humanity or save the aliens who were judging them. On Kepler 442b, a similar scene unfolded. Another Chorus ship appeared over the colony's main settlement, systems failing, falling toward 10,000 colonists. Marcus ran outside. He could see it in the distance, trailing fire. Defense batteries swiveled, tracking it. One shot, and the ship would be destroyed. The colony would be saved, but the people on that ship would die. "Please," Marcus whispered to nobody, "please see it. Please understand what matters." On Earth, the military commander made a decision. Negative on weapons free. Repeat, do not engage the Chorus vessel. All ships, all batteries move to evacuation support. Get those people out of the city. Move. Sir, we can't evacuate 12 million people in time. Then we save who we can. But we do not kill 3,000 beings who have done nothing to us. That is not who we are. Now move. The order rippled across Earth's forces. Weapons powered down. Ships that could have destroyed the falling vessel instead dove toward the city, landing in streets and parks. Emergency services flooded the channels. Every vehicle, every volunteer, everyone who could help was called, and people responded. They poured into the streets with personal vehicles. They helped neighbors into transports. Strangers carried children. The strong helped the weak. Nobody asked about skin color or religion or nationality. They just helped. Simultaneously, other ships launched toward the falling Chorus vessel, not to destroy it, but to help, to try to slow its descent with tractor beams, to evacuate anyone they could from the failing ship. On Kepler 442b, Governor Rodriguez made the same choice. All personnel focus on rescue operations. Get our people clear and get ships up to that Chorus vessel. If there are survivors, we bring them home. Marcus watched colonists abandon their homes, helping each other evacuate. But he also saw pilots racing toward the falling ship. Volunteers suiting up. People risking their lives to save aliens who had been judging them. The falling ship on Earth dropped closer. Thousands of humans worked desperately to slow it with their ship's tractor beams. It was not enough. The ship would still hit. But then it stopped. The ship halted its descent, hovering 1,000 feet above the city. Its lights blazed back to full power. Systems that had failed suddenly worked perfectly. It had never been falling at all. On Kepler 442b, the same thing happened. The ship stabilized, perfectly functional. Every screen, every communicator, every device on Earth and in every colony activated at once. Thalira's face appeared, her expression unreadable. "Humans," she said, and her voice carried to every person in every human settlement. "You have been tested. You have been given an impossible choice. Save yourselves or risk everything to help others, even others who were judging you, even others who held your fate in their hands." Marcus held his breath. "You chose to help," Thalira continued. "Not all of you. Some argued for destruction, some panicked, some acted in fear, but the majority, the vast majority, chose compassion over safety, chose to risk yourselves for strangers, for aliens, for beings you had never met." Her expression softened. "The luminous Chorus has made its decision. We have observed you for 200 years. We have seen your violence, your cruelty, your mistakes. And yes, they are real. They are documented. They exist." She paused. "But we also see what you can become. We see beings who constantly try to improve, who help without being asked, who sacrifice for others without promise of reward, who choose kindness even when it costs them everything." Thalira's image was replaced by footage from the test. Humans helping each other evacuate, pilots risking their lives, strangers carrying strangers. The strong protecting the weak, millions of small acts of courage and compassion. "This is not unique to humanity," Thalira's voice continued, "but it is also not common. Many species fail this test. They choose survival. They choose fear. You chose hope." Her face returned. "Humanity, the luminous chorus extends an invitation. Join us. Join the galactic community, not as subjects but as partners. You have much to learn. You have far to grow. You will make mistakes, but you have proven you have something worth nurturing, worth protecting, worth believing in." The ships in orbit began to move, repositioning into a formation Marcus did not understand at first. Then he saw it. They were forming a path, a corridor of light leading up from Earth into the stars. "Welcome," Thalira said simply, "to the galaxy." Cheering erupted across every human world. People cried and hugged and celebrated. Marcus sank to his knees in his yard, overwhelmed. A transport beam enveloped him. He materialized aboard Thalira's ship. She stood waiting with Sairi. The child ran to him immediately, wrapping her small arms around him. "Thank you," Thalira said quietly, "for my daughter, for giving me a reason to look deeper, for showing me that our data was incomplete." "I just helped a kid," Marcus said. "That's all." "Yes, and in doing so, you saved your entire species." She smiled. "The chorus has decided that you will be humanity's first ambassador. You will help guide your people as they learn to navigate the greater galaxy." "Me? I'm just a farmer." "You are the human who chose kindness when it mattered most. You are exactly what humanity needs to represent them." Sairi tugged on Marcus's sleeve, chattering in her language. Thalira laughed. "She says you promised to see her room and her collections. She has been very patient." Marcus found himself laughing too, the tension finally breaking. "I did promise that, didn't I?" He spent the next hour being shown every toy, every treasure, every small thing that Sairi found important. She had rocks from a dozen worlds, crystals that sang when touched, drawings she had made. She showed him everything with the pure enthusiasm of a child sharing with a friend. Later, Thalira walked Marcus to an observation deck. They looked down at Earth, beautiful and blue against the black of space. Human ships and chorus ships flew together now, beginning the first joint exercises, beginning a partnership. "What happens now?" Marcus asked. "Now the real work begins. Your people have so much to learn, technologies to understand, cultures to meet, challenges to face. There will be difficulties, misunderstandings, growing pains. But we'll make it?" Thalira was quiet for a moment. "I believe you will. Not because you are perfect, but because you try. Because when it matters most, you choose to help. That is rarer and more valuable than you know." A week later, Marcus stood on his porch back on Kepler 442b. His farm looked the same. The fields, the barn, the fence where he had first found Sairi. But everything had changed. Above, human ships and chorus ships flew together across the purple sky. Diplomatic missions prepared for the first official visits to other worlds. Schools started teaching about the dozens of species humanity would now interact with. The future was huge and terrifying, and full of possibility. Marcus's communicator buzzed. A message from Sairi. Just a simple drawing. A stick figure human and a glowing alien child holding hands under stars. Marcus smiled. He had not set out to save humanity. He had not planned to become an ambassador or change the course of history. He had just helped a lost child in a storm because it was the right thing to do. Sometimes, he thought, the smallest acts of kindness created the biggest changes. He looked up at the stars, no longer distant and unreachable, but full of friends waiting to be met. Humanity's journey into the galaxy had begun, and it had started with one simple truth. When a child needed help, a human chose to care. That, in the end, was what it meant to be human. Not perfection, not fearlessness, just the choice, again and again, to try to be better, to help when help was needed, to choose compassion over fear. Marcus went back to his work, tending his fields under an alien sun, while overhead the ships of two civilizations flew together toward a shared future. The human had offered shelter to a crying alien child, and in return, the galaxy had offered shelter to humanity. It was, Marcus thought, a fair trade.